Hey guys, welcome to Clip Factor, where we break down the wildest movies so you don't have to sit through 2 hours wondering what just happened. Today, we're diving into Jungle Cruise, part adventure, part fantasy, part wait, did that just happen? And trust me, it absolutely did. Let's get into it. So the whole story kicks off with an ancient Amazon legend. Deep in the jungle, there's a mythical tree called the Tears of the Moon. The legend says a single petal from its flower could heal any wound and break any curse. For centuries, explorers had been chasing it, but the most famous and most dangerous of them all was a Spanish warrior named Igor. This guy would stop at nothing to get his hands on that power, so he led his men deep into the deadly Amazon. And eventually, the jungle's true guardians found him half dead and saved his life. The moment he recovered, Igor demanded the arrowhead, an artifact believed to be the key to finding the tree. The guardians refused, so naturally, Igor attacked them. Bad move. He and his entire crew were hit with a curse. They could never leave the Amazon River's reach, ever. Stuck there, forever. Fast forward to the present. A guy named McGregor is giving a big pitch to a secret society, laying out exactly where the Tears of the Moon might be hidden. If they could just get the arrowhead, they could mount an expedition and find it. What he doesn't know, or maybe he does, is that his sister Lily wrote every single word of that speech and is hiding upstairs mouthing along to each line. But Lily's smart enough to know her brother's not going to pull this off, so she takes matters into her own hands. While McGregor distracts the room, Lily slips into the society's private corridors with a map leading straight to their artifact vault. On the way, she runs into Prince Joachim, a member of the society, but he assumes she's just some assistant looking for a room and lets her pass. Lily walks right into the vault, changes into men's clothing to blend in, and finds the crate holding the arrowhead. She cracks it open and swipes it instantly. Except right at that moment, Joachim shows up with another society member. He's there for the same arrowhead. When they open the crate and find it empty, Joachim spots Lily trying to slip out. He orders his men to grab her, but Lily's quick. She outsmarts them one by one, until Joachim himself cuts her off and she tumbles out a library window. She manages to grab a hanging ladder outside, but Joachim unties the rope and leaves her dangling in midair. He tells her, hand over the arrowhead and he'll save her. She throws the box at him, then drops straight into a getaway bus her brother had waiting below. Joachim opens the box. Empty. The arrowhead is gone. He's furious, and when he finds out who Lily actually is, he murders everyone in the room. Meanwhile, Lily and McGregor are already prepping for an Amazon expedition. They're convinced the Tears of the Moon could be the key to curing some of the world's deadliest diseases. They've got their route locked in. All they need now is a boat captain who can navigate them deep into the Amazon. Cut to the Amazon. A beat-up, barely functional riverboat carrying a group of English tourists who have absolutely no idea they're being scammed. The captain? A slick con man named Frank. His entire business model is built on one idea. Everything in the Amazon can kill you. He uses fear to charge tourists extra, stages elaborate fake attacks, and even pays a local tribe to play along with his act. It's all theater, and he's very good at it. Lily and McGregor arrive at a riverside settlement where Frank runs his operation. They don't know yet that Joachim's men are already tailing them. Lily's fired up. She immediately starts looking for a skipper, specifically a guy named Nilo who seems to own most of the boats at the dock. But Nilo goes straight to Frank, who just got back and owes him a serious debt. Nilo pulls Frank's boat engine and locks it away. No payment, no engine. Shortly after, Lily shows up at what she thinks is Nilo's office. She doesn't realize Frank has actually broken in there to steal the key to get his engine back. Frank immediately pretends to be Nilo. Lily pitches him the mission. Deep Amazon, specific coordinates, serious money. The moment she mentions money, Frank opens the door. She comes in, spreads out her map, and starts explaining exactly where she needs to go. Frank, still playing Nilo, warns her the location is extremely dangerous, then asks where she got the map. Lily deflects, saying it's an old, reliable chart. She also mentions it belonged to her late father, who used to tell her stories about the Tears of the Moon since she was a child. Frank laughs it off and suggests she take a safer trip somewhere else. Then Lily notices the box Frank was trying to crack open. She figures out he's trying to steal a key, but instead of calling him out, she opens the box herself. That move impresses Frank enough that he decides he wants in on this job. He takes her to a restaurant to negotiate the price. While they're haggling, McGregor walks in with the real Nilo. Lily immediately catches on that Frank played her. She starts walking out, but on her way past, Frank catches a glimpse of the arrowhead hanging around her neck. That changes everything. He starts lowballing his own rate, insisting nobody knows this river better than he does. Then a jaguar walks into the restaurant. Nilo dives under a table. Frank steps in front of Lily and McGregor, and after a tense standoff, tosses a piece of meat out the door and the jaguar follows it. That sold it for Lily. She hires Frank on the spot. Not long after, Frank shows up to the dock to collect his passengers, but trouble hits immediately. Some of Joachim's local operatives grab Lily right off the dock. Frank and McGregor have to take the boat out fast to dodge Nilo's angry crew. Luckily, Lily doesn't waste time. She fights her way through her kidnappers with some impressive footwork and eventually jumps onto the boat as they pull away. When Joachim gets word that Lily escaped, he's ice cold about it. He orders his men to surface the submarine. He wants the Tears of the Moon, and he believes its power could turn the tide of World War I in Germany's favor. He opens fire on their boat, and when that doesn't work, he launches a torpedo. It looks like it's over, but Frank pulls off an insane last-second maneuver, and the torpedo misses clean. Then the submarine's propeller gets tangled in a thick rope, and the whole vessel gets dragged into the dock, destroying most of Nilo's fleet in the process. Out on the river now, the three of them finally have open water ahead. McGregor is miserable in the heat. Lily is in her element, filming everything with her camera, getting excited about every strange creature they spot. Even Frank gets pulled into the fun and tries out the camera himself. There's a real spark between them, small but noticeable. Then Lily has an idea. She wants Frank to take a new route, shorter but far more dangerous. Frank pushes back hard, but eventually gives in. That night, Frank anchors the boat to let the engine rest. McGregor heads to bed. Frank and Lily stay on deck and actually start talking, getting to know each other beyond the surface level banter. Then McGregor's sleep gets interrupted when a jaguar jumps onto the deck and starts licking his face. Turns out it's Frank's pet jaguar, Proxima. Lily is not amused. She feels played again. What little trust she'd built with Frank takes a hit. Meanwhile, Joachim changes course. He's decided to go find Aguirre and his cursed crew, believing they're the ones who can lead him to the tree. He locates the cave where they've been imprisoned for centuries, walks up to Aguirre's stone-encased body, and pours a little river water on it. Two snakes emerge from Aguirre's chest, extensions of his consciousness. They strike a deal. Joachim helps recover the arrowhead. Aguirre guides them to the Tears of the Moon. The snakes swear on it, and Joachim releases Aguirre and his men from their prison. Back on the river, morning, Frank's crew makes it to the dangerous rapids Lily insisted on. Frank navigates through the white water, barely keeping the boat together. At one terrifying moment, the boat nearly goes over a cliff drop. Everyone's bracing. Frank pulls them back to calm water at the last second. Close. While Frank and McGregor gather firewood, McGregor opens up. He explains why he came on this mission even though he's clearly not built for it. When he came out as gay, his whole family turned their backs on him, except Lily. She was the only one who stood by him. He'd follow her anywhere because of it. Back on the boat, Lily sneaks into Frank's cabin. She finds maps and documents and realizes Frank has been searching for the Tears of the Moon himself. When Frank comes back and she confronts him, he admits it. He says a long time ago, that's exactly what brought him to the Amazon. He was searching for it. He tried for years and never found it. Eventually gave up. Then the hired tribe attacks. Another one of Frank's stage shows. He plays translator between Lily and the chief, manufacturing fake drama. But when Lily goes further than the script, the chief shuts the whole performance down. Later, Lily asks the chief about the markings on the arrowhead. The chief explains, whoever seeks the Tears of the Moon must turn water into stone and mend a broken heart. The sacred flower only blooms during the rare crying moon, which is coming in 2 days. And to find the tree, you must follow a snake eating its own tail. Lily remembers that symbol from Frank's map. She finds it immediately. And just like that, she figures she can ditch Frank, take a small canoe, and make the rest of the trip herself. She pays Frank what she owes him and prepares to leave. That night, Aguirre-cursed soldiers, the conquistadors, raid the village. They want the arrowhead. Frank, Lily, and McGregor each take one on. But in the chaos, one of the conquistadors rips the arrowhead from Lily's neck and delivers it to Aguirre. Aguirre bolts. Frank cuts him off. They fight brutally over the artifact until Aguirre stabs Frank and sends him falling through the trees. But before he goes down, Frank rips the arrowhead back and flings it to Lily. The chief pulls Lily and McGregor to safety and tells them to run. Get across the river. The conquistadors can't follow. Lily runs, but Aguirre's snakes reach her first and coil around her. Before Aguirre can do anything with her, the jungle itself yanks his men back toward the river. When the conquistadors recover, they realize they need Joachim's help to get past the river boundary. One of Aguirre's bees breaks away and flies toward the submarine to deliver the message. Next morning, Lily finds Frank. He looks completely fine. Then McGregor and the chief arrive and spot it immediately. A knife still buried in Frank's back. There's no hiding it now. Frank comes clean. He was one of Aguirre's conquistadors. He was there 400 years ago. But when McGregor hears this, he faints. Lily pulls the knife out. Frank doesn't bleed, doesn't flinch. He's not normal. And now they all know it. Lily walks McGregor to a safe spot and says goodbye. She tells him the rest of this mission is just her and Frank. Meanwhile, Aguirre's bees reach Joachim's submarine. He lets them in, receives the coordinates of the arrowhead's location, then immediately kills the bees, so they can't carry the intel back to Aguirre. On the river, Frank and Lily finally talk for real. Frank tells her everything. He was Aguirre's closest friend. He came to the Amazon with him because Aguirre was trying to save his dying daughter. Frank drew the maps, the one Lily's been using. Frank made it. He traveled deep into the jungle with Aguirre, searching for the Tears of the Moon. But when Frank saw what Aguirre was willing to do to the tribe that saved them, specifically to the chief's daughter, he couldn't let it happen. He stopped him. The girl ran off with the arrowhead, and the dying chief placed the curse on Aguirre and his men. Over the following centuries, Frank and Aguirre kept crossing paths. Eventually, Frank trapped them in a cave, a specific cave the jungle couldn't pull them back from. Over the next 300 years, the jungle twisted their bodies into something monstrous. Lily asks how Frank spent those centuries. He built the town where they met, made friends, lost them. Then he resumed his search for the Tears of the Moon, mapped every inch of the river, found nothing, eventually stopped looking everything and became a tour guide. He's also had a lot of big cats over the years. Joachim finds McGregor, takes him hostage, forces him to point to the location on the map. Then he moves immediately. Frank and Lily reach a section of river with no visible path forward. Lily thinks this is it, the place where water turns to stone. Frank dives in and finds an ancient chamber underneath with a lever inside. He comes back up and tells Lily she has to be the one to pull it. There's no way he fits. Lily freezes. She can't swim. Frank talks her through it. They have no other option. They go in together. Lily gets inside the chamber and pulls the lever. The door seals shut behind her. She panics. Frank finds her through the glass, kisses her to pass her some air so she can breathe. Lily pushes the lever all the way down. Outside, a school of piranhas descends on Frank. The water begins draining, but until it's fully gone, there's no way out for Lily. When Frank finally gets to her, he thinks she's gone. Then her eyes open. She immediately slaps him for leaving her alone in there.